Hey guys, SupremeMarket9s here, and I don't know about you, but I cannot stop thinking about Pokemon for the Switch, and more importantly, what shiny hunting on Pokemon for the Switch is going to be like. Rumors on the internet are running rampant, fake starters are coming out every other day, and of course there's the quote-unquote leakers that are telling us exactly what is going to be in these games. And because of all of this, I kind of wanted to do the same thing, but shine a light specifically on shiny hunting, because whether you realize it or not, everything we've come to know about shiny hunting and shiny Pokemon could potentially change with these games. And even regardless of all of that, Pokemon Switch is going to be without a doubt huge for the shiny hunting community. Not only is it going to be super easy to record on these games, but it's going to be so much easier for everyone to live stream them. The huge difference now is you're not going to have to take your Switch and send it off to somebody to get a capture card put in. All you have to do is get an HDMI capture port, which you can get at freaking Best Buy. So if you thought the shiny hunting community was big before, well, just wait. So because of all of that and the fact that there is so much potential for each one of these things to change in these new games, I decided I wanted to go through and give my top 10 hopes for shiny hunting in Pokemon Switch. If you're excited for these games too, or agree with any of my hopes for these games, please give this video a thumbs up, but without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, right off the bat, we're going to talk about one that is probably the least likely on this list to actually happen, but with Twintendo talking about it in his video and it being a topic for discussion in my Skype group since the dawn of time, I really wanted to talk about it, and that is none other than alternate shiny forms. At the beginning of Pokemon in Generation 2, when shinies were introduced, they did not create shinies themselves. They used algorithms and palette swaps to do so. Because of this, the shinies in the main series game changed from Generation 2 to Generation 3, and it stayed that way up until Generation 6, where they finally started designing the shinies themselves. And because of that fact alone, I could totally see Game Freak going back and changing all of the original shinies to shinies that they actually see fit to these Pokemon. I personally think this makes total sense and lines up perfectly with the theory that the Pokemon Switch game is going to be a reboot to the series, and honestly, I wouldn't mind this too much. Imagine them taking all of the really terrible shinies such as Garchomp and changing them to color schemes that actually make sense for what they are. Maybe turn Garchomp into something that actually looks like a shark. You can take all of the shinies that you hunted in previous games and suddenly feel like you want to hunt them again because you've got all of these amazing new color palettes. With that being said, I don't really see them doing this because I feel like it would affect too many of the old school fans and really bother them, but if they did go ahead and do it, there are really two ways that I could actually see them doing it. The first one being far more likely, and that is to just include all of these new shinies as the original shinies in these games, but also include an item in the game, maybe a key item, a pair of sunglasses or something that you could put on, and suddenly the shinies revert back to what they were before. This way, if you like the older shinies and prefer to keep them that way, you can, but if you like the new ones and want to hunt something new, then you totally can do that too. This, I feel, is a super good compromise and is more than likely something they would actually do. The other way, which I do not see them doing at all, but it would be super freaking cool, is have both shiny color palettes in the game and just set them at different odds. One possibly at 1 in 8192, just like the original shiny odds, and then 1 in 4096. Or, which is probably more likely, have the 1 in 4096 as the older shinies and then make one much easier to find. This right here is best case scenario for me. It's twice the shinies in the wild. You can pick one or the other that you want to go for and try for it, end up getting both. It's a win-win situation. Up next is another one that I've really thought about forever and I expected to see in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that is adding a brand new trainer class for shiny hunters. As I said at the beginning of this video, shiny hunting is just becoming more and more popular and more people are going after it, so it just makes sense to add Shiny Hunter Dallas or Shiny Hunter Alex into the games. How amazing would it be to actually have NPCs that have an entire team of nothing but shinies? Not only does this make perfect sense, but I feel like new players that have never shiny hunted before or even know what a shiny Pokemon is will see these trainers, see the Pokemon sparkle, and say, holy freaking shanks, I gotta go after one myself. How the heck do we have a preschooler trainer class but not a shiny hunting one? I thought you had to be 10 to even get a Pokemon. If nothing else, this should be used as an informative Easter egg that should be implemented in the game. Game Freak, acknowledge us. We are here and we exist. It is finally time. We need a shiny hunting trainer class. Which leads me to my next hope, which also has to do with shiny hunting in Pokemon, and that is including shiny hunting in the main story of a Pokemon game. Take all of the facts that I said for the last one, include them here, and listen to what I'm about to say to you because it makes too much sense to not actually happen. I would personally love to see an evil team that is just like Team Rocket. They're stealing Pokemon, we're getting back to our roots, we're rebooting the series. Game Freak, if that's what you want, listen up. But instead of going after regular Pokemon, they go after shiny Pokemon. The value of shiny Pokemon can no longer be denied. It's only going up. So imagine this. Pokemon Switch reboots the series. We're back to the original with a very simple story of stealing Pokemon. No more world destruction. No more we're trying to blow up the sun. But instead, a very simplistic storyline that is just based around the fact that these Pokemon are shiny. I know for a fact that this is something that would never happen, but I just see it as so perfect for right now for Pokemon Switch for them to do this. Maybe the rival gets a shiny Pokemon as a starter. Maybe the evil team steals it from him and then you actually battle the trainers with the stolen shiny Pokemon. But the twist is when you battle them, they are battling with other trainers' shiny Pokemon. They could have nicknames, they'll evolve. These Pokemon are growing with the evil team, but they don't want to. So the whole point of the game is to steal them back. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm too obsessed with shiny Pokemon, but to me, it just makes so much sense. It's so simple yet so complex. I feel like it's the perfect storyline and I really wish it would happen. But a boy can dream. If nothing else, I'd really love to see an Elite Four member have nothing but shiny Pokemon, just like an acknowledgement in the game or part of the story where shiny Pokemon have to do with it. I feel like it would be perfect. My next hope for shiny hunting in Pokemon Switch is a very simple one, and that is to have good freaking sparkles. I honestly feel like the shiny sparkles are doing nothing but go downhill. In Generation 4, they were the best they ever were. When you threw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and they broke out, they sparkled. I feel like that's not too much to do or ask for, is to just, if the Pokemon breaks out, let them sparkle again. There are a lot of shiny Pokemon in these games that don't look very different, and sometimes you need that reassurance of where you throw a Pokeball, they break out, and you say, oh heck yeah, that's a shiny. Personally, I was very okay with the shiny sparkles from Generation 5 and Generation 6. I actually kind of liked them, but then we got to Generation 8 and it was like, I don't see what you're doing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are not a kindergarten class. It shouldn't just be a gold star. Everybody has their own taste. I'm not dissing you if you actually like those sparkles. I really don't see how. That is perfectly fine. I just really like big, gaudy, oh my freaking gosh sparkles, and that's what I want. This hope right here is not by any means out of reach. I feel like this is a very reasonable thing to ask, so I'll take it a step further and say that I am hoping for shiny Pokemon that are constantly glistening, sparkles that are always there, that even after the initial sparkle, you can tell that that's a shiny Pokemon. I don't know, I just really feel like a constant sparkle would be super freaking cool. Everybody would love it. Nobody's gonna complain about something like that. And if they don't do the Pokeball sparkle thing, this is a good fix for it, because you would know a shiny Pokemon is shiny because, well, it's constantly sparkling. All in all, I'm really hoping for this. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this next one, but it is very reasonable, and I'm very much hoping that they do this, because if they don't, oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me. And that is keeping the shiny odds the same as they are now. I have made my opinion on shiny hunting and the odds thereof very clear. I don't care if people use methods. I don't care if they use the shiny charm, but give us full odds if that's what we want. I don't want the full odds to go any higher than they already are. I've had plenty 1 in 4096 hunts go well over the odds of 1 in 8192, so I am perfectly okay with the odds staying at 1 in 4096. If they become something like 1 in 1500, it's just gonna be far too common. You're gonna find random shinies throughout the whole game, and honestly, I like a good hunt. I really like a good hunt. I don't care if they raise the odds for shiny charm. If that wants to be even higher than they are, that's perfectly fine. But give people a choice. That's what I'm really hoping for. I just want to be able to do full odds where it is now and not feel like I don't have a choice. That's really what it boils down to. Going right off from that one, I also really hope that we have a faster way to encounter in these games. The encounters in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were so freaking slow. And on top of that, I would really love to see something like Double Patch Grass come back. In Generation 5, there was darker grass that you could encounter 2 Pokemon at once in. This was and still is amazing for shiny hunting, and I would love to see it implemented in a newer game, especially a 3D one. It's not really something I could totally see them doing, but I do see them maybe including Hordes again, and I for one kind of liked Hordes. I really did. And so many people get it screwed up where they think that Horde hunting is not full odds, but unless you have the shiny charm, it is. Just because you're encountering more Pokemon than you would in a single encounter doesn't make it not full odds. You're just seeing more Pokemon. So either way, if they included one of those or added a brand new encounter style, I would be super happy. Now this next one is kind of just a game hope, but it has a lot to do with shiny hunting as well indirectly, so I decided to include it. And that is none other than access to a ton of Pokemon, and if not that, every single Pokemon in the Pokemon universe. This is Pokemon's first ever main series console game, which means it has so much more power than the 3DS or any handheld ever could. Now, I'm not saying that they should stuff full every single route, because sometimes having too many Pokemon on one route is just god awful for shiny hunting. But because there is so much more space on a console like this, I feel like the game is going to be exponentially larger than we've seen in the past. And that is where this all starts to make sense for me, because with so many more routes and so many more areas, there's bound to be more Pokemon implemented into the game. And I'll say this right now, I'm not talking about having every single legendary, even though they've gotten very close in the past with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or every single mythical Pokemon. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying normal Pokemon that should be found in routes, that should be found in different areas. I feel like it's very easy to implement most of them. But I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say no to every single mythical. Following that, another very simple and easy one is no freaking shiny locks. Shiny locking legendaries is already its own thing. I don't feel like that should happen, but then they go ahead and shiny lock other very obscure and strange things like Snorlax in Pokemon X and Y. You can't shiny hunt it. Even up to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, there's an Electrode that you can find in the Rainbow Rocket part of the game, and it's just shiny locked for no reason. It would be such a cool hunt, and yet you can't go after it. These are not crazy Pokemon, they're not mythical, they're not legendary, so what is the deal? I don't believe it takes away from the story or the lore of a legendary. It only makes me more excited to go after them. One can only imagine what the legendaries of these games are gonna be, and I know for a fact everybody's gonna want to shiny hunt them, and then like 4 or 5 people are gonna try to and realize that you can't. It's very important to me that there aren't shiny locks. I'm not keeping my hopes up. I know for a fact that there probably will be on the main series legendaries, but I'm also holding out hope that we aren't going to see some random shiny locks on Pokemon that otherwise would be really fun to hunt for. Up next is one that I'm super excited for, and it's really something that I feel like is going to happen, and my hopes are way up here, and I know they should be here, but you know, that's how it goes. And that is none other than being able to take in-game screenshots and video just like you can in Super Mario Odyssey. This feature is becoming more and more prevalent in gaming, not only for Nintendo, but all over the map. Everybody is doing that, and that's why I feel like this is such a big deal and is such a thing that could actually come into play in Pokemon. Imagine playing through a Pokemon game, finding a shiny Pokemon, and as soon as it starts to sparkle, going into camera mode, catching those sparkles, and then being able to take pictures at every single angle. Oh my god, that would revolutionize shiny hunting. And for real, even if you don't care about the picture part, if you do like sharing your shiny videos but don't actually have a way to record them, this is going to be monumental for people like you. You can hunt in bed without having to worry about setting up any recording, and then as soon as you find a shiny, just hit the record button and hold it, and suddenly bam, 30 seconds of video. It would be perfect. I want this so freaking bad. I really hope that this is something that they're implementing. In my heart, I feel like it is, but in my heart, I also know you're gonna get heartbroken. And finally, my last shiny hunting hope for Pokemon on the Switch is a way to show off how amazing your shiny Pokemon are. In previous Pokemon games like X and Y, Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we had both Pokemon Ami and then Pokemon Refresh. And as you guys know, in these game modes, you got to feed these Pokemon, pet them, and simply just admire how amazing they look. But the coolest thing about it, and the reason that I loved it so much, is that if you had a shiny Pokemon, they would show up shiny also in Pokemon Ami and Pokemon Refresh. So really, it takes it a step further. You get to not only see the sparkles and how amazing it looks in battle, but then you get to also see it in Refresh and Ami and see just how massive and beautiful and crazy cool it looks. Now, another way that they could also do the same thing, which is even cooler, but I'm not relying on the fact that they're gonna do it because I really don't think that they will, even though everybody else in the world does, and that is the return of Pokemon walking behind you. Now, I don't know what the graphics of these games are going to be, but I know they are going to be mind-blowing and so much better than anything we've seen in the past. So to believe that either one of these could come to fruition in this game and just show you in HD detail how freaking cool a shiny Pokemon looks, having a shiny legendary walking behind me in real size, oh dear lord, Wailord, can you imagine this? The possibilities are endless. Like I said, this is not something I actually expect to see them do, but if they did, oh my god, it would be the best Pokemon game ever. Alright guys, that is gonna do it for this edition of my videos. I hope you enjoyed these speculations and hopes for Pokemon Switch. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I am so incredibly excited. I hope that you guys are excited too. Maybe this video got you excited. If not, at least it got you thinking about what shiny hunting on these games is going to be like. If you think my ideas are crazy, I really can't help it. This is how my brain works. I think of nothing but shiny Pokemon when it comes to this stuff. Maybe if this video does well and we actually have some real information about these games, I'll come back and go through all of my hopes and see which ones I actually got pretty close on. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. More videos are coming very soon, but until next time, this is Supreme Arcanine signing out. See you guys later.